Hey everyone, if we're meeting for the first time, my name is Vojchehoske and welcome to the Real Estate Classroom YouTube channel, where our mission is simple: to help you pass your real estate licensing exam. In today's video, we're going to discuss two key real estate terms that you have to know, and they are power of attorney and what's called attorney in fact. Two key real estate terms that you will definitely see on your exam. So let's get to today's video. So in today's video, we're going to discuss attorney in fact and power of attorney. And the reason I decided to do a video on these two key real estate terms is I received an email from Trish in Texas, who had taken her real estate exam and dropped me an email about these terms. And I decided to go through the inventory of videos that I have on this YouTube channel and discovered that I really haven't talked about either one of these. And yes, you need to know it for your exam, but they are really relevant to the real estate sales profession and property management profession as well. So it only made sense that I did a video on them. And there's a lot of confusion around these two terms as well. So Trish dropped me an email. She said, I had a couple of questions on my real estate licensing exam, and two of the potential answers, I'm assuming two potential answers to the questions, were power of attorney and attorney in fact. I generally know what a power of attorney is, but I have no idea what an attorney in fact is. Can you please explain these terms? And I would be glad to do that for you, Trish. Now, the first term I'm going to talk about is what's called a power of attorney. It's commonly referred to as a POA, and here is the legal definition of what a POA is. It says the power of attorney, or POA, is a legal document giving one person, called the agent or attorney in fact, the power to act on behalf of another, called the principal. The agent can have broad authority or limited authority to make legal decisions about the principal's property, finances, medical care, etc. All right. Now, the second term is attorney in fact. And the definition of an attorney in fact is a person who has been authorized to act on behalf of another person, usually to perform business or other official transactions. A document called the power of attorney is used to designate someone as an attorney in fact. And you can see by the asterisks down there that an attorney in fact does not have to be an attorney. In fact, 99.9% of the time they are not. They're usually family members. So those are the definitions, but let me clarify a little bit better so you can kind of follow along with these definitions. Let me give you an example. Let's say that I'm closing on a real estate transaction 3 weeks from now, but I'm going to be out of the country. So I'm not going to be here to sign these documents. Now, I'm going to have to sign all the closing documents. I'm going to have to withdraw money from the bank. I'm going to have to sign mortgage notes and things like that. I'm not going to be here. So what I can do is generate a document or have my attorney draft a document called a power of attorney. Now, that power of attorney is a legal document that outlines who is going to go into closing on my behalf to sign those documents, because I'm not going to be here. I'm going to be in a different country, but I need to get this closed. So in my example, I'm going to have my wife be the attorney in fact for me. So my wife is going to be designated in that power of attorney document as the attorney in fact. Now remember, I am called the principal in this relationship, and she will be called the attorney in fact, or sometimes called an agent, depending on what state you're operating in. So I sign the power of attorney, I give it to her, and then I leave to go out of the country. And 3 weeks from now, when it's time for closing and all that, she's going to take that copy of the power of attorney, where I've designated her as the attorney in fact. She's going to go to the bank and use that document to withdraw money for the closing. She's going to show up to the real estate closing, and she's going to not only sign her name on all the documents, she's also then going to sign my name as well, because she is my attorney in fact. So she is binding me to this decision. Now, I can structure this power of attorney in a couple of different ways. I can give her limited authority, or I can give her very broad authority. So I may want to just say, my wife, who's the attorney in fact, only has the authority to do whatever necessary that's related to the real estate transaction, but nothing else. Or I might say, hey, I'm going to be out of the country for a month, And I'm going to give her broad authority so she can basically make any decision on my behalf, because I'm not going to be here to take care of business. So there may be other parts of the business and whatnot that I'm going to need her to basically handle for me. So I'm going to give her a broad authority. It's very important when you're drafting power of attorneys for yourself and you're designating other people as the attorney in fact for your decisions, that you really look at that and decide how much authority you want to give that person. That's very important that you take that into consideration. All right, so how do we terminate a power of attorney? There are numerous ways, but I'm going to kind of give you the 5 most common. Number 1, it's revoked by the principal. So in my example I gave you, I get back from being out of the country, and then I say, thanks to my wife, but I no longer need you to act on my behalf, so I'm terminating this power of attorney. If the principal or the attorney in fact dies. Now the third way is it expires. Very common in power of attorneys where the principal will include an expiration date for the power of attorney. And once that expiration date it hits, it's done, it's expired. Court action. Certainly we know a judge can terminate a power of attorney, and then it is task-based. We don't see these too much anymore because the expiration type of power of attorney is kind of taken over, but it used to be very common where the power of attorney was for 1 or 2 or 3 specific things that the principal needed the attorney in fact to do in their absence. Now they've pretty much just said it's a limited scope and here's the expiration date, and it's replaced the task-based power of attorney, but they still do exist, and you might run across one of those in your real estate career. And then last but not least, I just wanted to outline some examples you might see in the real estate profession where you're going to need a power of attorney. This is just some of the more common ones, and you won't even really need to know it for the licensing exam, but it's a good reference. Number 1, universal agency and general agency. We've already talked about these 2 categories of agency in a previous video, and I'm going to put that link to that video right up here in the upper right-hand corner. Universal agency, it gives the principal gives the attorney, in fact, a greater amount of authority or broader authority to speak and act on their behalf. General agency, they have that power of attorney, but it's limited in scope. And typically we see this in property management is the most common, where an owner hires a property manager to manage the property. And then it's just they're trying to determine how much authority that property manager is going to have to speak on behalf and make decisions on behalf of the owner. And that is done through power of attorneys. And so it'll be a general agency or a universal agency type relationship. Certainly buyers and sellers, that's another area. It is very common in the real estate professional where one spouse shows up at closing with a power of attorney where they are the attorney in fact for the other spouse who is gone. And if you are practicing real estate next to a military base, you're going to see those all day long. One spouse is deployed overseas and the other spouse is buying a house or selling a house, and they are signing for that deployed spouse because they are that deployed spouse attorney in fact. And then management contracts, as I already talked about. Now, 2 last things before I let you go here. Agents should always obtain a copy of the power of attorney if they are listing for lease or for sale a piece of property. You want to make sure that the person that's signing all the contracts, the listing agreements and whatnot, have the authority to do it. You don't need the original, but you should have a copy of that power of attorney, and just ask for it. Say, I need a copy. Put it in the file. Now, part 2. It's a good time at that listing appointment or early on after you sign that listing contract to educate the seller or that attorney, in fact, who has that document called a power of attorney, that when closing happens, the escrow closing company is going to need the original power of attorney, not a copy, the original. They're going to need to record the deed with the power of attorney. That's so important. So they have to take both documents and record it. Now, eventually that power of attorney is going to get, or that attorney, in fact, is going to receive that power of attorney back. However, most places, most jurisdictions, they will not allow that deed to be recorded without the original power of attorney. And also title insurance and those type of things. The title insurance policy typically won't cover anything related to title unless that power of attorney is recorded with the deed. So there's a lot of reasons why that is a tough conversation that you have to have with the client or with that attorney, in fact, because they don't want to give it up. Often what I have found in the business is if the power of attorney is being drafted for a real estate transaction, then typically the attorney that's drafting it on behalf of the principal will do two originals. One for the attorney, in fact, and then the other one to give to the escrow closing companies. That's always the best win-win solution. So that is power of attorney and attorney. In fact, if you're going to continue studying, here's a great video that you might want to check out. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Click the little circle to my left. Comments and questions down below. I would love to hear from you. That's all I got in today's video. I will see you in my next video.